Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Someone who travels into little-known regions, especially for some scientific purpose. A commercial browser. Someone who travels into little-known regions, especially for some scientific purpose. A person who enjoys taking risks. That is to say, in other words, a commercial browser. A commercial browser. The immaterial part of a person, the actuating cause of an individual life. Deep feeling or emotion. A human being. A secular form of gospel that was a major black musical genre in the 1960s and 1970s. Soul was politically significant during the civil rights movement. The human embodiment of something. The soul of honor. A human being. There was too much for one person to do. A grammatical category used in the classification of pronouns, possessive determiners, and verb forms according to whether they indicate the speaker, the addressee, or a third party. Stop talking about yourself in the third person. A human body, usually including the clothing. A weapon was hidden on his person. A human being. Characteristic of or meant for a single person or thing. An individual serving. Being or characteristic of a single thing or person. Individual drops of rain. A human being. Separate and distinct from others of the same kind. Mark the individual pages. Concerning one person exclusively. We all have individual cars. A single organism. Causing or capable of causing death. Mortal combat. A human being. Involving loss of divine grace or spiritual death. Subject to death. Mortal beings. Unrelenting and deadly. Mortal enemy. A human being. A person who explores caves. A person who explores caves. Someone who works underwater. The ship's officer in charge of navigation. In earlier times, a person who explored by ship. The member of an aircrew who is responsible for the aircraft's course. A person who explores caves. A person who explores caves. Someone who works underwater. Large, somewhat primitive fish-eating diving bird of the northern hemisphere having webbed feet placed far back. Related to the grebes. Someone who dives into water. Someone who works underwater. An adventurer, especially one who led the Spanish conquest of Mexico and Peru in the 16th century. A program used to view HTML documents. A program used to view HTML documents. A viewer who looks around casually without seeking anything in particular. British explorer who mapped the Australian coast, 1774 to 1814. Bits and splinters and fragments. It would have shattered in flinders long before it did that damage. Spanish explorer who discovered Yucatan, 1475 to 1526. Spanish explorer who discovered Yucatan, 1475 to 1526. United States explorer who mapped much of the American West and Northwest, 1813 to 1890. Norwegian explorer of the Arctic and director of the League of Nations Relief Program for refugees of World War I, 1861 to 1930. English explorer who led an expedition in search of the Northwest Passage to the Orient. Served under Drake and helped defeat the Spanish Armada, 1535 to 1594. Australian who was the first to explore the Arctic by airplane, 1888 to 1958. United States chemist who developed an economical method of producing aluminum from bauxite, 1863 to 1914. A large entrance or reception room or area. A college or university building containing living quarters for students. United States child psychologist whose theories of child psychology strongly influenced educational psychology, 1844 to 1924. A large and imposing house. An interior passage or corridor onto which rooms open. The elevators were at the end of the hall. English writer whose novel about a lesbian relationship was banned in Britain for many years, 1883 to 1943. The large room of a manor or castle. United States astronomer who discovered Phobos and Deimos, the two satellites of Mars, 1829 to 1907. United States explorer who led 3 expeditions to the Arctic, 1821 to 1871. A large building for meetings or entertainment. A large building used by a college or university for teaching or research. Halls of learning. A large room for gatherings or entertainment. Lecture hall. Welsh journalist and explorer who led an expedition to Africa in search of David Livingstone and found him in Tanzania in 1871. He and Livingstone together tried to find the source of the Nile River, 1841 to 1904. United States geologist and ethnologist and explorer who discovered the source of the Mississippi River, 1793 to 1864.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.